Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta on the GeForce GTX 1060, 6GB. For FPS monitoring, I'll be using CAM. If you want to download this software, there's a link down in the description. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there is Patreon and affiliate links down in the description as well. So Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, I'll be doing 1080p, 1440p and 4K. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p on a G4560, and you'll see that I'm over 60 frames per second pretty much all the time. You'll see some spikes in the frame times because of the high frame rate. If you cap the game at 60 frames per second or something like that, it should be totally fine. Those spikes shouldn't be there, but once the game releases it should run a little better. Then the rest of the video will be done using a Ryzen 3 1200 overclocked to 3.9 GHz. So once again 1080p, maximum settings, using Ryzen 3 1200 plus the 1060. I saw the spikes in the frame time less often using the Ryzen 3 processor, but that was to be expected. It's a quad-core CPU and it's overclocked. Then at 1440p, in order to maintain a more consistent frame rate, I decided to lower anti-aliasing to FXAA low and the post-process quality from ultra to high. That allows me to be over 50 frames per second pretty much all the time. When many explosions show up, you might see a couple drops below 50, but it's pretty much over 50 frames per second the majority of the time. Then I do the same test at 1440p, but overclocking the GTX 1060. You can see the core memory clocks down in the description. And finally at 4K, I show you low settings in order to target over 45 frames per second or something like that. And after that, I crank up the settings almost to the maximum. I just turned off anti-aliasing and lowered post-process quality from ultra to high. And that was enough to be over 30 frames per second pretty much all the time. So if you don't care about the frame rate and just want to play at 4K almost ultra settings, this should be enough. But keep in mind that at 4K I had the 1060 overclocked all the time. The frame time graph that you see in the bottom left corner of the video is a great way of knowing when a stutter happens. When you see a big spike there, it means that a frame stayed longer on screen than it should have. So you'll notice a quick freeze or a stutter, whatever you want to call it. It seems to vary quite a bit, judging by how the graph looks, but I only felt noticeable stutters on those big spikes. Other than that, the game feels very good to play. I benchmarked on 40 player matches, so we can have the most demanding stuff possible on both the GPU and CPU. So far it seems to be running very well and it looks amazing. I had trouble with DirectX 12. When I switched it on and launched the game again, my screen showed up an out of range warning, so I couldn't test DirectX 12 right now. It seems to be just a bug. The FOV slider and dynamic resolution options are disabled at the moment, so I would expect them to be there when the full game releases. To get a performance boost, I recommend first lowering mesh, effects and post-process quality. For some reason they decided to bundle reflections into the mesh quality option, so you have LOD, tessellation and reflections in just one option. If that wasn't enough to get the frame rate you wanted, lower the rest of the options that I didn't mention in groups and you should be fine. I'll explain the options more in depth once the full game releases. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Damage to the transport!
The MTT is falling apart!
Resistance and prepare for phase 2. The palace throne room has been sealed. All units proceed inside and override the door control systems.
Sentry mode activated. I'm ready to go.
B2 unit online.
West override approaching completion.
The transport! One ball is left. Trap another ion shot. Enemy has crossed waypoint Alpha. Withdraw to secondary positions. Right, counting down. Heavy guns ready. Stay together. Got your back. MTT preparing to fire!
MTT hit. Multiple units destroyed. Republic has damaged the MTT.
Our forces have reached the first waypoint. Continue the escort. Increase protective measures.
Sentry guns online. MTT under fire. Lots of damage.
Efficiency rating intolerable. Do not allow another attack.
Squad assignment. Clones are firing on the transport. Grenade out. the building.